Hey gang, welcome to a super sweet Theros draft. Let's get rid of this. Let's pump this up. Cool. Here's a nice little 8-4 we're jumping into. Two rares, neither of which are particularly, crazy do awesome. Rageblood Shaman is foil though, that's cool, but I'm not a fan of the Minotaur deck, and Artisan of Forms, can do things, and it's definitely playable, but not super power leveled. I'm looking more here at the Emissary, Dauntless Onslaught, Voyaging Satyr, and Lightning Strike. The Lightning Strike is awesome removal spell. I don't like red, and I think most people don't like red. Dauntless Onslaught is super powerful in the heroic deck, but I think I prefer green a whole lot more and would rather kind of move in on it that way. And I actually think I like Voyaging Satyr better than Nylea's Emissary. All the Emissaries are really good, and this might be kind of a controversial pick, especially because we're going to give a somewhat clear signal going through, but I think the Satyr just ramps you into the Emissary and the Vulpine Goliath. It tends to be better to like pick up the Asp over the Satyr, but I think I'd rather get the Satyr over the Emissary. I've just found that if you have these guys in your deck, you're doing pretty okay. I'll take another Satyr here to go with my first Satyr, and that's kind of fun. Good red cards in the pack aside from that with Magma Jet and then Oriad and Flames Regret after really fine 3-drops. But we're passing red. We're hoping people are going to keep going red since we passed that Lightning Strike. Alright, Nemesis Immortals is a super fine pickup here in our color. It's also the best card in the pack. Though God's Willing and Opaline Unicorn, Impression Chimera, and Rage of Perforos are still very playable, with Scourge Mark and Dark Betrayal and Burnished Heart followed up. Swan Song, Chimera, blah, blah, blah. Stupid Satyr. Who cares? Yeah, but nothing's going to be tabling in anything that we've seen so far. Shipwreck Singer and Wingsteed Rider is amazing. I'm going to grab the Wingsteed Rider. I think it's kind of a little bit of a signal that white might just be open, and it's that much more insane than Time to Feed. Even though I hate green-white, if we're mostly green and then we get into white, that's fine. It's not, again, I'm not stoked to be diversifying into this, but Wingsteed Rider is just too powerful to pass up. I think it's a fairly good signal at 4th pick that white could just be open. Otherwise, I would take the Time to Feed for removal. We got a great Nemesis here to work on that. Time to Feed will work if we end up going white-green heroic. But yeah, Shipwreck Singer is pretty awesome. But I'm not going to grab it because that means I have to splash one of the colors, depending on which other I want to do. Trident Fortune Hunter also A-okay. But man, Wingsteed Rider, yes please. So I'm not going to take the Fairies, Bands, Centaurs, because that doesn't really matter. I think the best card here is Read the Bones. I actually like black-green, so I might grab it here. Green-blue is also good, but the Prussian Chimera I'm not stoked on. Main issue is we haven't seen really any other black, like, quite at all. It could just be right to take the Evangel of Heliod, which I'm going to do since I just picked up the Wingsteed Rider. I'm going to try to get in on this white action. And the Evangel will actually be a lot better given that we have two Voyaging Satyrs, because really what holds this guy back from being awesome is the fact that it's a 6-drop. Whereas if we have like a Wingsteed Rider into this guy turn 4 or 5, we're going to be in good shape. And I'm only picking the Evangel because I'm not passing up anything amazing. I don't need an Opaline Unicorn to be splashing yet. With two Voyaging Satyrs, I don't need to be ramping or anything with the Unicorn. Okay, another Evangel. Probably wouldn't normally take it, but having two Satyrs already now that we're moving on a white means it's fine. And it's certainly a powerful enough card. I think the Return Phalanx and Felhive Minotaur would be fine if I had gone black with that Read the Bones. And then Borderline Minotaur and Portent are actually the best cards in the pack. And I don't want the Band Elder, even though it's lower on the curve, and we're probably going to have plenty of fatties. We already have a bunch of 6s. But I think we'll be okay with that, given what our deck is. I don't want the Triad to splash it into black. Maybe now I do take this 3-drop here over the Feral Invocation trick. Because, yeah, I do just want creatures. And I definitely want... I think of our little mediocre white creatures here, the Laguna Band Elder is better than the 2-drops here. Yes, and I hate the Decorated Griffin. I'll never play it, even though I guess technically it is playable. No real playables here. I'll take the Setessan Battle Priest. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't say no playables. This is playable. Rescue from the Underworld, though, is the best card in the pack. Again, we're seeing a little bit more of that black happening. I'll take the Cavalry Pegasus, though I don't anticipate it making this kind of deck. Even though we do have one human, and then this is a human, although it makes soldier creatures not human creatures, so that's not that awesome. But you never know, you might want it. And it's really more about like just cutting other cards from the pack. We'll take a Stetsson Griffin. This actually will work well if we're going green-white, and it's better than anything else. So green dried up pretty heavily after Nemesis of Morals, even though we saw some dinky playables that we chose white over instead. Don't care about Dark Betrayal, because we're not going black, it's not getting against us, right? We'll sideboard it. So I'll take the Hedonist, even though I'm really hoping not to play that 2-drop, because if this is in your deck, then your deck sucks. The only good satyr is the female satyr, Miss Satyr Druid, the Voyaging Satyr. Yep, she's awesome. I don't think there's any other good satyr in the set. But I could be wrong just based on my memory. I don't think there's any other satyr that's actually... Oh, the Boon Satyr, that one's good, the rare one. I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. Probably a girl, because let's just be honest. Yeah, that's how that works. Females rule. Okay, ridiculous that Shipwreck Singer is still here, but that ship, I feel, has sailed. We're going to take Savage Surge, but this is just nutty. And I'm really not happy seeing that. Kind of stoked that some of the dorky green playables are here, which means maybe green is a little bit open. There wasn't like any other green pack, or any other green cards in these packs that were going to be having these 2 cards. So that just means, you know, it's not an overly drafted color, possibly. Though I think the signal was much more that after our Nemesis came through, someone kind of jumped into green or was cutting it as well. So Wingseed Rider I kind of took as a signal as wide open. Possibly these Evangels confirmed that, though not everyone picks these super highly. I'm not too sure. What I'm sure about is I'm not a fan of these colors, but I don't think there was better choices around there. Kind of questionable that maybe jumped into black with that Read the Bones that I passed up. But we're not in dire situations, and we're probably going to open Elspeth right about now. Right? Right, Elspeth? Right? Come on, Elspeth. No. We have a Temple of Triumph, which is kind of a waste of time, even though it's probably worth a ticket. I'm going to take the Leaf Crown Dryad over God's Willing. We're not in the major heroic deck yet, and this is pretty much about as good on the Wingsteed Rider as the God's Willing would be. Voyage's End, probably the best card in the pack here. Pretty okay. And then I'm not expecting anything table, maybe the God's Willing or the Scholar of Theros, which we're not looking to be playing, so nothing particularly amazing. Another Wingsteed Rider, gonna slam for sure. Battlewise Hoplight's good. We'll let the blue-white player pick it up, but having 2 Wingsteed Riders, just that alone makes me happy that we have this deck. And now I might even pick up a little bit more of the Bestow type creature, or not Bestow, but like things like Chosen by Highlight, anything that targets, since we now have 2 premium pieces for it. And we're going to get past a Phalanx Leader right now, just for luck's sake. I know it's just that we have a high count right now when it comes to creatures, but a lot of them are stupid creatures, so they don't count. Let's see, would I rather have Enthusa, a Tessin hero at 5, or Nessian Asp? Definitely Nessian Asp, though that's his Emissary. Ooh, yummy. Yeah. But this guy is just too insane. And this is a nice 4/5, but so is the Asp. It's only 1 green. And actually, what this heroic thing does is way less relevant than having Reach and being at 7. I think most people know that, but I wanted to voice it, because I'm commentating, so why not? Boom! Asp! Be stoked to see if the, whatchamacallit, that Centaur tables. Not expecting it to, but it would be interesting. Alright, Griptide, best card here for sure. Feral Invocation we're going to take because we kind of need things to trigger our 2 Wingsteed Riders, even though I was kind of tempted to pick up this Traveler's Amulet in the event we want to be splashing something like a Griptide or whatnot, but this will make the deck, and we kind of do need these types of cards to start rounding out the deck. So we'll grab it. I'm just not excited for it. I was looking for something a little bit more powerful at, what is that, 4th pick. Right, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4th pick before something else came through the line. Alright, so we don't need 2 drops, so the Hedonist is gone. We remember we have the Cavalry Pegasus, because I tend to forget that happens. But our 2 drops are looking pretty solid. Ooh, Mistcutter Hydra. Yeah, there's something else powerful in pack. It's definitely a fine card. Having 2 Voyaging Setters helps it out quite a bit, but it's really just another big old fatty, which we don't particularly need. Blue is really showing to be open. That makes sense because we didn't see any of it in the first pack, so the person who was cutting that successfully is getting hooked up. I feel like we are kind of getting hooked up as well with the green. Not as hooked, though. But, yeah, that's our only real choice there. Okay, so Nessian Courser versus Nylea's Disciple. Well, we have 3 drops, and the little incident life game will probably be relevant. And with the Boonsater that we have already, I think the Disciple will be better. And we're not looking to be splashing at this point anyway, so I'm not too worried about the double white and the double green issue here. So we'll just stick to this guy. Yeah, we're probably not playing all these big old dudes. But this will get our first 4-drop online. I'm not going to play another Setessan Griffin, so I might just start cutting the Vaporkin here. Is that right? We just don't need more big dudes. I just hate cutting when there's actually a pick that could consider make the pack. I mean, could even take the Fade into Antiquity for the sideboard. Yeah, I'm going to take that over the hate of the Vaporkin. We're not too weak to Vaporkin with our nice reach and flyers already. It's not like it's a big deal. And Fade into Antiquity, if we don't get a stronger, like, what's the one? Ray of Dissolution or something, then we might actually want to have it. Here we got the Godswilling, which did table. And so did the other white cards. So yeah, white is a little bit open. Not insane. I'm sure someone's doing the white-blue heroic deck. But this is definitely fine as a combat trick just to keep dudes alive, and more importantly, to trigger Winged Steed Rider. So, sweet-ish. There's that fade. Don't need that now. Scholar of Atheros will never make our deck, so I'm going to cut the Borderland Minotaur because I don't want a second Fade into Antiquity. Wow, Battle-Wise Hoplite. I guess people aren't doing that. I'm going to take it. This card is just so good. There's no reason this should still be here. Disciple's also very good in the black deck, but we're not doing that. And again, don't need 5 drops, don't need Silent Artisan. I'm easily playing the Fairies Band Centers over it at any point. Even though it... Oh, yay, Rare Dissolution, that's what we're talking about. Even though the Artisan helps with the Evangels, that's not a reason to have a weaker card there. Stoked to have the Rare Dissolution, that's pretty alright. Nothing else matters here, though. I'll take the Sandals, because I might actually play it. I think I played that once in a deck. I forget why I wanted it in the deck, but it's actually good. I'm keeping the Battle-Wise Hoplite and the Cavalry Pegasus available, even though I can't imagine opening anything that would make me ditch my green, considering the Satyrs are kind of key to making this deck work, and the Nemesis is super powerful, and the Nessian Asp. Oh, I forgot about the Asp. Yeah! I'm happy about that. So we have a ragtag deck at the ready. Would love to have another Winged Steed Rider or Phalanx Leader, because of course, that would be amazing. But we are a little bit light on some of our heroic triggers. What do we have? 1, 2.5, 3.5. Yeah, we only have 3.5 triggers for our 2 Winged Steed Riders. Since we're not a major heroic deck, I don't want to overly prioritize like picking up a Savage Searcher or God's Willings that week. But we are going to be on the lookout in those picks. If there's tiebreakers or... I'm not going to be scared to pick up Ordeals or anything. Ooh, hello, 100-handed one. So that's a great, great card, of course. We even need a 4-drop slot. Chosen, if it comes back, I'd be happy to grab, again, because of the Winged Steed Rider. Chronicle of Heroes will probably table, to be honest, and we'll get that in our 3-drop and maybe replace Lagona Band Elder. I would love it for this table. We don't need the Traveling Philosopher. We're not doing that much with Heroic. And the rest of it is weak for us. Some good red and blacks open, but that's pretty weak. As in it's being underdrafted, so the 1 or 2 players are going to take that want it are going to get those cards. But 101 is a wonderful rare in our colors, so that is a score. Alright, so here's an interesting pick. We have Hopeful Eidolon, which is just always nice and powerful just because of its cheap bestow. We need more 4-drops, and we would like to have things to trigger our Winged Steed Pegasus. But Nemesis Immortals is pretty redonkulous and a wonderful card. But again, we have 6-drops and above. We don't need more of them, even though the Nemesis Immortal is actually probably better than the Evangel. But if we take the Eidolon, that actually makes our Evangels that much better. So we're going to go that route. If the Nylea's Disciple or maybe this Ordeal Wheels, I'd be super happy. I'm not entirely anticipating it, but green doesn't seem to be overly drafted, so we might grab her. Best cards here are blue, and man, oh man, would have been nice to have been jumped in on blue. But I don't think it's right, again, to abandon it, so let's go ahead and hide this Hoplite, smash in our Hopeful Eidolon. Oh, gosh, and a Bident? Ouchie. Still not jumping in. Don't need another Evangel. I think Leaf Crown Dryad's the pick here. I do like Sedge Scorpion quite a bit in green, but the fact that this can bestow onto our Winged Steed Riders is just a solid card in and of itself. I'm super happy about. We're getting rid of anything that is human. The only humans we care about are the ones that are already flying. And yeah, we're just going to up the power level of our deck. But I would love to get a Sedge Scorpion. I think that would really help us in the long run. But having picked up 2 nice bestow creatures is going to help with Winged Riders, because they're bestow creatures that you want even if you're not doing heroic. Wow, Keepsake Gorgon's so good. Chain to the Rocks, can't do it. Looks like our only pick really is this Observant Alcyon, which isn't bad. I'll have it replace the Lagona Ban Elder and have a 2/2 Vigilance versus a 3/2, and with incidental heroic triggering on the Winged Steed Riders. I'd feel much better if I had a second strong heroic card to kind of justify having enough of these heroic triggers, but I'm pretty sure at this point in the picks that's not going to happen. Gosh, I just want to hate that Keepsake Gorgon. That is one that is like powerful enough where it's almost worth doing. Okay, we don't need an Opaline Unicorn. We already have 2 Voyaging Satyrs that are better to help us ramp. We'll just take another Observant Alcyon and just go big on this whole bestow thing. And this allows us to really round out these early picks. We can get rid of Lagona Ban Elder. I mean, every single creature at 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are all amazing. And then we're looking to get rid of like this Fairies Ban Elder, or maybe lower the curve away from these guys. Here we are just going to do a hate pick of the Baleful Eidolon. Could take the Bronze Sable as a sideboard against Black Intimidate, but I think the Eidolon is just so much more powerful. I want to get rid of it. We don't need Burnished Heart again. Our 2 Satyrs should do what we need in our deck, and that's fine. Titan Strength is also a good card that would be worth hating. But we're just going to cut this guy because it's too good. Gosh. Same thing with Gary, because the one person who's playing black is just getting like the nuts black deck right now, and we don't need a 6-drop. I would, even though Volpine Goliath is nice and big, I'd still, with what my deck has in Devotion stuff, I think I'd rather have the Evangel and the Nemesis of Mortals anyway, so we don't need another 6-drop. And there's actually an earlier Volpine Goliath that might wheel, so I'm okay with just cutting some powerful cards here. Now I will take the Bronze Sable over the... Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring the Raptor in, because I don't need 2 drops. I might even want a 4-drop, and it just fits better in the curve. And if what I want to do is bring in something against Intimidate, this is a fine card. I'm never going to play Vanquish the Foul, even though we are light on removal. I just don't see many reasons for what my deck's doing to kill big things. We have big things to trade with big things, so I don't care. Alright, that Chronicler of Heroes did come back, but I might want that Chosen of Heliod. We've got so many creatures. Let's start paying attention. And our 3-drops are pretty awesome. Let's just say these guys don't make the initial main cut, and we keep these big old fatties up here. I think I do take Chronicler of Heroes here over the Chosen, even though originally I wanted the Chosen by Heliod. But we only have 2 Winged Steed Riders, and we have so much bestow and things that the Chronicler is going to be a little more synergistic, and if nothing else, it's a nice 3/3 in our deck. Commune is not for us. Return Phalanx. We have flyers and big guys to deal with them. Let's take another Griffin in case we really want to go for the fly. There's that Volpine Goliath that I was mentioning. Gosh, another Baleful Eidolon? Yeah, just because I'm not playing the Volpine Goliath, there's really no point for me to grab it here. I'm taking the same cut over Volpine Goliath. I picked the Eidolon over the last Goliath too. Alright, maybe we just go black. We have so many good black cards. We'll take another Ray for the sideboard. There's that Bronze Sable. Instead of, now we can have some options, even though I doubt those will ever become relevant. Just little fringe benefits. I do like the deck. I wonder who else ended up jumping into these colors. Since, yeah, all of our cards are good, but man, black was just so open. Not too sure. Our 4 black cards are like first pick quality, awesome. I mean, I'm not stoked to take Belphylon, Grey Merchant, or Sip first, but like in a weak pack, those would easily make it. All right, well, hold on. Let me do some building here. Okay, gang. So here's the deck. Overall quality card. The quality of the cards are good, but you'll notice I have 19 creatures and 3 cards that, for the most part, don't interact a whole lot with my opponent. They're 2 combat tricks plus counter a removal spell or something. And so we're really going to be playing we need to be proactive in getting a bunch of creatures and boards out, and a board state out. Otherwise, all we can do is deal with creatures with other creatures. But hopefully the power level of our creatures will be stronger than our opponents in general on our curve. I am considering, I think I want to bring in this Ray of Disillusion over this other Cetessan Griffin. I really am not even stoked to be playing 1, considering I have 2 Wing Steed Riders. That'll be enough for me in the air. That should be just fine. And then I have a bunch of reach dudes to protect myself against other flyers. And so they have so many creatures, and I think there's enough enchantments in general that are running around in the set that Ray of Dissolution should have a target. Could be right not to. Normally, I would just keep it in the sideboard, but since I have just so many creatures and I need somehow to interact, I'm just going to be hedging on this. I'll have a second Ray of Dissolution if I want to pull out one of my other big fatties, like probably this other Griffin, or maybe a second Evangel. Or if for some reason I'm just seeing like no relevant enchantment, we can just bring the Griffin, and maybe the Centaurs do come in if I care about the ground. But I think I'm gonna have plenty of big old guys on the ground doing what I want. Let's double check our human count. No humans there. My 1 human is a flyer. That's a Centaur. Yeah, I don't even have humans to put in the air, which is fine. That was not the game plan. Just these stupid Evangels. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to keep it a nice 18 land deck, even though we have the 2 Voyaging Satyrs. We have a nice high curve here. You know, these guys are at 5 as well. This can be considered a 4. That's where the Hope Phylon was. So we're going to have tons of stuff to do with our mana all of the time. A couple of monstrous dudes. So 18 should be pretty right on the land count. 8 and 10? I think we're just going to go 9 and 9. I don't think we need 10 planes, even though, yeah, we have the turn 3 Wing Steed Rider. But I think 9 and 9 should be accurate, because we do have a bunch of double green. I guess a bunch double green would be overstating it. We only have 2 double green. Maybe it is 10-8. Yeah, I don't think we need 10 white. Plus the Voyaging Satyrs will kind of help smooth that out if we're able to cast them, which the extra force is what we want. So yeah, we'll keep it this way. Go lots of creatures.